Hello, friends. Today we are going to read part 2 of chapter 1, The Snowy Night. A dark and snowy night. After the elevator door closed, Ralph worried that the puddles might dry before he had the lobby to himself. Time dragged on. The man in the red vest, who worked in the Jumping Frog Lounge, came out, yawned, and remarked that he might as well close for the night. The television station went off the air. The desk clerk locked the front door and left. If any more guests arrived, they would have to ring the night bell. Matt began to turn out the lights. At last, Ralph threw his leg over his motorcycle, adjusted the rubber band that held his crash helmet in place, and grasped his tail so that it would not become tangled in the spokes. Then, because as everyone knows, a toy motorcycle moves when someone makes a noise like a motorcycle, Ralph took a deep breath, went pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, and shot out from under the clock. Gradually, he picked up speed and zoomed through a puddle. Wings of water fanned out from his wheels. It was a thrilling experience. All of Ralph's little brothers, sisters, and cousins, hoping Matt would not notice them in the dim light, popped out from their hiding places to watch. Of course, Ralph had to show off. He took deeper breaths and rode faster, making puddles splash higher and leaving tire tracks on the dry linoleum. Matt, who was banking the fire for the night, laid down the poker to enjoy the sight. Unfortunately, the little relatives were not satisfied. Not now. Once Ralph's indoor relatives had been happy to have Ralph push them up and down the halls on his motorcycle, but this treat was not enough for his rowdy outdoor relatives. They wanted to ride the motorcycle by themselves, so now all the mice wanted to ride. They came running and jumping across the threadbare carpet to the linoleum, squealing, "I want to ride! Give me a turn! Come on, Ralph! Get off and let us use it!" Ralph started to whiz around in a figure eight. When his tires slipped and the motorcycle tipped, he lost control and landed in the icy, dirty water. The daring outdoor mice waded out to grab the motorcycle, but Ralph was quick. Dripping and shivering, he sprang back on the seat and rode off, avoiding clutching paws. If only he could make his relatives behave. "Go away, you're too little," said Ralph through chattering teeth, and he swerved to miss Tiny Toes. "You would forget to hang on to your tails, and you'd get them tangled in my spokes." He tried to wipe his nose with his wet paw and wished mouse children had to go to bed at night like human children. "We would not." The rougher mice grabbed the motorcycle and brought Ralph to a halt. "And you're not so big yourself. You fell down." All the mice began to complain. "You let us ride or we'll tell your mother on you. She said you were supposed to give us a turn." Cousins closest to Ralph in age said it wasn't fair to Ralph to have a motorcycle. Nobody had given them motorcycles, and they were just as good as Ralph. Some of the meaner mice told him their mothers said Ralph was spoiled and selfish, and would probably turn out to be no good when he grew up. Ralph was hurt. "I am not spoiled, and I'm not selfish," he insisted as he tried to drag his motorcycle away from all those clutching paws. In his heart, he did not feel selfish. He only wanted something that was his alone. A mouse so rarely had something he could call his own. "You're greedy," said a cheeky outdoor mouse. Then all the mice, down to the littlest one who was tangled in the fringe of the carpet, began to chant, "Ralph is greedy, Ralph is greedy." Ralph finally lost his temper and squeaked at the top of his voice, "Beat it, you rotten little rodents! Try and make us!" The outdoor mice were defiant, but Ralph could tell they were not as brave as they pretended. Shocked and hurt by such strong language, the little indoor mice fell silent. They looked at Ralph with such sad eyes that Ralph was ashamed. "You said bad words," said one. His voice was filled with reproach. This is a long chapter, friends, so I'm going to stop here. But we'll find out tomorrow in part 3 of A Dark and Snowy Night what happens and if the cousins are able to ride the motorcycle. What do you think?